What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? We're back. We are back where it all started. The Jimmy the Bag YouTube channel. Anything goes here. I just took a shot of yakety yak to get the right feeling because I barely slept last night, capping 30-odd games. Oh, man, it feels good to be here. There are no rules. It's your show. Whatever you guys want, whenever you want it. Do you want horses on Saturday? Do you want the show at midnight? Whatever you want. And I thank you guys for being here with me because now, here on my page, making $0 a month, I've got to find winners! Man, my neighbors haven't heard me yell in a while because we haven't had a horse show. Remember me! I'm live, baby! What it is. Michael Ervalina in the house is also the Nets are a joke of a team. What was that last night? Brandon Lugo in the house. K. Paul, VIP. Albert Ross. It wasn't last night, though. Am I tripping out right? That was 2 nights ago. John Chap. I now follow him. It's a beautiful day. There's Dylan Turner. Turnsy, baby. Won't be long till we are partying together in Windsor. Going to get Maxwell Smart because that's as close as he can get to the border because he's not allowed over. Royals, first 5 in K. Paul's pocket. Now, I spent a ton of time on NHL and NBA, so we will cap MLB together. I've made one bet in MLB, but we'll do it together. And I'm going to try to get through these games pretty quick. But there's no time limits because there's no rules. Slats 45 now says, much thanks for keeping the show alive. Of course, man. Look, this is all I got, man. I do have a beautiful young family that I'm very proud of as well. And who we're going to require currency to be fed. And last night was not a good example. Yeah, Hill was a stiff. I was thinking of you, man. The Avs team total 3.5. How many minutes did it take you to catch that? How many minutes did it take you to catch that? We got penny bombs in the house. And slots on a Rangers Bolts 2-team parlay at even money. Tarski's got to be in net. So how can Tokarski not be in net? You can tell I had a shot of yak. I just call him Tarski. All right, we got JT in the house. Jacksonville. So there's Nilo. He says, back to normal. That's right. No, I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. Viper NB now is K. Reed. My guy, Vincente Gigante. Sebastian A. Ray Charles. Amsterdam, what else? Marlon Z. David Santori. Juan Ruiz. Thank you guys so much for rolling with me here. Slat saying, you must love the Demko signing. 5 years, 25 mil. That's what I'm talking about. I thought Benning was incapable of making good deals. Jojo Rich. Tom. Carlos Barros. Carlos Barros, is this what had happened? I had to come back to my own channel to get Carlos Barros' cheesy balls back in the mix. Look at this OG lowbagger. Carlos Barros, that's all I had to do? Start getting paid $0 a month again and you'll come right back to me? Carlos Barros, his cheesy balls. Coming to us live from Washington, D.C. Johnny K. Actually snowing in Montreal. It's freezing cold here. It's -1, and it feels like -6. Vitalis ready to go. Thank you, Marlon. We're going to be doing a lot more than that. Jason Turgi in the house. Vitalis ready to go. Swervin back in action. All right, Nate Dog. This is not April Fool's. Man, I'm back, baby. Got that yakety yak in me, too. That's a powerful breakfast. A powerful breakfast. Had Fruit Loops with Ella. Had some. She said, Daddy's taking all my loops. I said, shut it. Breets Beats in the house. My guy Breets Beats. Those OG Lowbaggers remember Breets Beats videos from when I first got started. Love to get more of that. There is Von Polo in the house. John Garcia, Tori Coker. What a great group. Money line for Philadelphia for Von Polo. We got Birdie in the house. B-Lab. Oh, I love this. Marlon taking me on the money line. Oh, yeah. We're back, baby. Oh, Benjamin Martin in the house. Ostino Liggett. Ergo Caustic. Hustle Wilson. Dill turns his damn, he's wearing his shirt. Yeah, I do. I almost came out with my tits out, but there are going to be some people watching this show to see whether or not they want to hire me. Hopefully it's not this show, but if they turn it on and I'm sitting here capping with my tits out, I'll be getting paid $0 a month for a long time. David Sharp, opening day. Braves, Blue Jays first 5 plus 150, Marlins first 5 plus 132, and Braves plus 109. 3+ lines for David Sharp. You can tell this guy knows what he's doing. Getting that cash. Oh, wait, I'm way behind the comments. Shit. How did I get so far behind the comments? Okay, we got so much work to do. David Summer in the house. Okay, we got Taint play of the day. Taint play of the day. Detroit, Cleveland, under 7.5. It's snowing here. Very cold. And Shanae Bieber on the line. All right, that's okay. I got to start copying and pasting this stuff, man. Okay, here we go. So we have the under 7.5. I've fallen too far behind. I've fallen behind the chat. All right, I'm just going to take my own note here. All right, Taint is in. Taint under 7.5. That makes a ton of sense. Detroit, Cleveland. Also, I'm going to be jumping on our man Ski Profits show on the Locker Room app right after this. Right after this. There's Antoine Seymour in the house. We got Matty Ice, Dennis Garcia. Viper MB says, don't bet shit teams on the first 5, please. I beg you. Bleds W, ready to go. Brotherly Hype. Gary Malone. Okay. Alex Ramirez on Wolves. Oh, last night. Nice job. And OKC +8. Great job. So we have the Taint play today in. David Sharp, like Royals, first 5. We have so much work to do, but I just got to thank you guys all for rolling with Cat Money Benny. Yeah, 30. There's K-Prop, TJ, Akira in the house. Black Thor King, Young OG. Thank you guys. PG 00187 on Undercover Cop. Nick Dillard. Guillermo Zertucci, thank you, my man. Ron Fig. The fight analyst in the house. Great capper. Cobra Sports 609. Puzzler says he's so happy. Puzzler, we start. Our circle is just. How about a John Dunn quote? I know that you would respect that. How about we start the show with a John Dunn quote? Our circle is just because we end where we begun. But we're not ending here. We're not ending here. Who doesn't like quotes from the 17th century? Nordy in the house. Dre Machi. Big Zo. CT Bays. Deacon Mike. Maxwell Smart. MLB fade time. Yes, Jerry Rubenstein is ready to be the fade of our lifetime. So let's keep an eye on what Max is doing and fade. There's Fade the Fool, Mr. Gokster, Cheech Marina is still trying to take his shirt off, Robert Allen, James Taylor, Horses on Saturday. It's your show now. So it's a very important event for my family this Saturday, which hurts me. But I told them that this was the last Saturday that they would ever see me. This is the last Saturday that they would ever see me. Yes, I'm on Warriors money line and Hornets money line in basketball. And Matty Ice saying, yes, the winds are heavy out to center, but center and Comerica 420 away. All right. Now, look, I could sit here. We could just mess around. I'd be happy to. Look, I'd be happy to smash my glass through the window every time a pigeon comes on the balcony. I should take a shot. That's what I should do, and then I just lose my shit. So we're going to get to work. We have so many games to cap. Let's get to work. But most importantly, I want you guys to know that this is your show. Whatever you guys want, whatever time you want it at. And thank you for joining me. Let's get the fucking fucking work, shall we? Let's get to fucking work, man. Let's get to Eddie Sunshine say, I really miss Ponies with you, Jimmy. I promise it's coming back. That's all I want to be doing, so I promise. So 100% for sure will be there for the Oaklawn Derby, or the big Oaklawn Derby points race a Saturday from now. So 100% will be Saturday the 10th. Now, when Woodbine opens up, we should probably do Wednesday night horse racing here on the channel. But I definitely don't want to step on Razor's show. And I know Razor's on Wednesday right now. He was Tuesday, Thursday before, but I'd like to be on Razor's show. So I'm definitely never going to go against it. So we'll figure it all out. We'll figure it all out together. Vincente says, get a pellet gun to fix those flying rats. The problem is I would shoot the rats and hit a child, because there's a school right there. That's why I can't. That's why when I scream horrible things out the window at the pigeons, I feel a little bad. There's Buck Nasty in the house. John Garcia says, how does COVID affect players' fatigue or stamina? I think it works differently for everybody who gets sick. So I don't think we can. And Dylan Turner saying, big fat Ford at it again. Ontario lockdown all the time. Yeah, you know what, Dylan Turner, we hit the road last night. It was a dinner. We had a family function dinner, and we hit the road so we could eat inside. We hit the road, man. Richmond Hill, Lone Star. Wasn't very good. Nairobi Pittman in the house, too. Matty Ice says, if you stay at 11 a.m., I will be dealing taint each and every day. That sounds pretty good to me. All right, let's get to work right now. We're going to start with NHL. And Mets Nationals postponed. From James Taylor. Thank you for the latest information. Silent. Silent. That gets me. Okay, let's go. We're going to start. So it was an awful day for me in NHL. Was wrong about the Jets. Nice, of course, the first home game back off a road trip. But I thought the over was really in play, and I thought the over was in play early. And I was at eating dinner at this, like a shitty chain restaurant, and so there was TVs right in front of me, and it no one could talk to me. I held the baby. I watched the hockey game, and I became angry. So we're going to start with NHL. We're going to try to get through it fast. NBA is, and that's going to be tricky. There's a ton of games. NBA is just 7 games. So we're going to try to move through that fast, and then we're going to cap MLB and work together there. So let's get right to work. Dad Fences, I know it's a square, but my first play of the year's Yankees run line, and of course the taint under 7.5. I get it. There's Die Hard MMA podcast. My man Clint in the house. Clint, by the way, will be making big moves here in the near future. So definitely on Monday night, Die Hard MMA podcast, definitely be there for it. I will as well. And you'll hear the big news coming from our guy, OG Lowbagger Clint, who I still remember as Anna Merrick. Okay. Bleds W says MLB should be first, games at 1. Bleds, it's your show, baby. It's your guys' show. Do you guys want to start with the early baseball games? Tell me now, because it's up. Look. The only thing I got to do is I got to do the show with my man Ski Profit after this. There's Flipper 13 in the house. Okay, we're saying getting yes from the guys. Okay. Let's do, how many games do we have popping off here? So let's just move over to MLB quick. How many games do we have on the early slate? Oh, fuck, we have a ton. Okay, why don't we do this? Okay, so Boston is being postponed. So we're also going to lose Mets Nationals. That's going to be postponed. All right, and Cheech Marina says snowing here in Detroit. Okay, so let's do this. There's Jimmy Gomez in the house. Fresh RX, I've been looking forward to this all week. Fresh RX, my man. Okay, so why don't we do this? We'll hit the 105, 110. We'll hit Jays, Yankees, Indians, Tigers, Twins, Brewers, Pirates, Cubs, Atlanta, Philadelphia. Okay, well then tell me this too. What would you guys prefer the order of sports moving forward? Because I've always done NHL, NBA, and then MLB, but we can change that as well. So, yes, word is that the Red Sox game is postponed. So let me know, because this is up. It's up to us now. MLB, NBA, NHL, says our guy R2D2 Finland. Same with Matty Ice. MLB, NHL, NBA. Canadian Cab or hockey, and then hockey. Okay. Let's get to work. Is there a gas station? Sushi in the house. There he is. There he is. Gas station sushi. I heard he was hilarious last night on the show. I'm sorry that I missed it. Guillermo Gonzalez also saying MLB, NBA, NHL. The thing is, when we start at 11 a.m., it's up to you guys. And same with Amsterdam. What else? MLB, NBA, NHL. I'm going to start capping right now, and then we'll go over everything. But the thing is that generally the longer the show goes on, because it starts so early in the West Coast, that we get more cappers in the chat. William McKinnis, also MLB, NHL, NBA. Okay. And same with Dav Fenn. Dav Fenn saying MLB, NHL, NBA. B. Simpson, I'm back in action, baby. And reviews of On Polo, MLB first. Deacon Mike says, when will the curling picks be mentioned? Sadly, they won't. They're just not hot enough. Okay. MLB, NBA, NHL. So everybody wanting MLB first. Okay. Oh, and we got a look right now. For those of you who need action now, our man R2D2 Finland, who smashes European hockey, has a move here. I'm going to pop it up on the screen. You have 10 minutes to take Finland hockey. Mestiske Vanta, -1.5. Ooh. So -1.5 at +163. And says, take it. Love that shit. All right. WTF says lunatics running the asylum. You're damn right. David Sharp up at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. I respect that. Okay, everybody's saying MLB first. Okay, well, let's do that. And it took hours upon hours and hours of time. So I'm going to need your guys' help with this MLB card to get started. And let's do just that. We can talk. One thing we couldn't do at the old place at odds was I couldn't talk about the offshores. That's over. I can talk about the offshores. So we'll use 5 dimes as our opener here. That'll give us the best info. And let's get to work. Matty Icing, NHL last for goalie mount. There's Brandon Cummings in the house. Oh, it is great to see you. I am very well. Very thankful to be here with you guys and ready to get to work. So let's do that. Okay, so let me bring up all I need for MLB here. All of these. Okay, so MLB, usually I'll have pages and pages and pages of notes, and I let go of them. Time was a factor. I focused on NBA and NHL, and I've only made one bet so far in MLB, but we'll go. All right, let's get to work here. We're going to start 1:05 p.m. The Toronto Blue Jays in Hyunjin Ryu on the mound against the great Garrett Cole. This total opened up at 8 at -110, and we now see 7.5s on the board. And I thought they were all 7.5s. Let's just see what Pinnacle has done with this market move. So Pinnacle opened it at 8, went to 7.5. And then last night back to 8, down to 7.5. This morning at 6:51 a.m. it went back to 8, dropped at 10 to 8 a.m. and went to 7.5, and is now back at 8. So very, very interesting market moves. Not sure what to do with the total. The Yankees open up at -163. They're now between -169 is the best price, and the worst price is -190. Silent saying 15 to 20 out to right center. I'm on the over. Moderate temps, chance of rain for my guy Silent. Wansbro is on LeMahieu over 1.5 bases. There's Kevin Riley in the house. Great to see you, Kev. Frankie Martinez ready to go too. R2D2 Finland question: which Finnish league? Bob Taylor. I imagine it would be their League One or Elite League is what we used to call it, but the League One. And Vital saying Jays, Yanks, Sharps not on the side, but Sharps and money on the under. Okay. So let's take a look at the starting lineups. And we'll talk injuries as well. So we'll start with the Toronto Blue Jays here. Let's move over here. And here we go. So we have Marcus Semien at second base. And he's going to be, a clubhouse leader for this club. We're very excited about having him. Kevin Biggio at third base. Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette is in the props market, is our highest rated player in the MVP prop. 27-1 at Sports Interaction today. I was surprised. Springer at 31-1, but Bo Bichette at 27-1. And if you see his dad, Dante, you understand how he became an MLB star. Teoscar Hernandez in right field batting cleanup. Then Vladdy Guerrero Jr. batting fifth at first base. Lourdes Gurriel batting sixth. Rowdy Tellez at DH. Grichuk in center field. And Danny Jansen behind the plate. Injury-wise, you'll notice there's no George Springer. He's on the 10-day IL. Same with Robbie Ray is on the IL. We have Nate Pearson, whom we really believe in, has a groin strain. So he's just throwing long toss right now. And then Kirby Yates, done for the year, Tommy John surgery. That hurts our bullpen. We had high expectations for him. And those are the main spots that we are worried about from an injury perspective. Silent is on Bichette over 1.5 hits plus 200 on DraftKings. Had to take a stab on that. Oh, and Ergo Caustic saying K Vanta is Jokerit's farm team. That's a question coming in right now. So Cole is going to sit them down in the first 5, but after that, who knows who the middleman is. Let's move over to the Yankees here. They are going with, and this is expected right now. Let me see if I can we still can't get oh yes, we have a confirmed lineup. So we have LeMahieu opening it up, Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, Stanton, Torres, Ursula, Sanchez, Jay Bruce batting 8th, and Frazier turning that lineup over. So, Voit, we all heard about the Voit injury. Andahar was just placed yesterday on the 10-day IL. So Miguel Andujar's out. Zach Britton, going to be a while till we see him. Justin Wilson out as well. That is where we stand here. I moved on that first 5 under 4. It didn't become available for me till about an hour ago. I just feel like with these temperatures, 44 Fahrenheit. Now, the wind is blowing out. But with these temperatures, Bleds W's on the other side. He's on the first 5 over. There's Gabreet in the house. Great to see you. And there's Razor Sharp Picks in the house. And Brian Warner saying, I haven't seen one article or capper talking about Phillies today. It's all Atlanta. I'm backing them also, but money kept coming in on Philadelphia. Interesting from our man, Bry. Bleds is on that first 5 over. Says Cole and Rio can be touched. Brandon talking about Loshak. Yeah, he's not MIA. You can get a hold of him, but he's not been on Twitter for a long time, and we're going to get him back in action. We're absolutely going to get him back in action. Dav Fenn says, you got good stuff to look forward to with your Jays, but today is not the day. Final 6-2. David Sharp says, Yankees missing their 2 top relievers, Britton and Chapman. And that is the first game here on the card. So we're going to move into the second game, the taint play of the day in business here in game 2. This pops off at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Indians, Tigers. We have the Indians opening up at minus 190. You can find them anywhere between minus 195 and minus 205. That first 5 that opened at 4, and it was heavily juiced for, has now moved to 3.5. Oh, that's the first 5, those lines. Sorry. The full game had the Indians opening up at minus 190. And now you can get them in the 170s. They're in the 170s at most books. This total is getting bet on the under right now, but it's still at 7.5. And there's the sound of that flying hobo outside. Oh, don't turn it. Oh, man, that's rough, man. That's rough. Okay. David Sharp says, I stay off totals for the first few weeks. Need to see how things work out. I get that. Mr. Gokster says, early Tate, let's go. Brian Warner on the Yankees, minus 1.5. And I'm going to lose my shit with that pigeon, but I'm going to stay calm. Stay calm. Let him do whatever he wants to do on my balcony. All right. Yeah, Mr. Gokster, there's no snow. Just some flying dirt hobos. All right. So let's take a look at the announced starting lineup. Bieber coming off a spectacular season, short season, a spectacular one. And that should work out well for him, not having to go through 162 games. You have Luplo, Hernandez, Ramirez, Rosario, Reyes, Naylor, Chang. Yu Chang at first, Perez behind the plate, and Jimenez at shortstop. Over with Detroit, Grossman, Candelario, Castro, Cabrera, Scope, Mazzara. Moving over to DH for these Tigers, Wilson Ramos, Victor Reyes, and Jacoby Jones over there. Jacoby Jones. Talk Sports with JT is on Cleveland Moneyline, first 5. And we have the Taint play of the day that's in on the under 7.5 here. And move over here. So we have the next game on the slate. And the under 7.5 makes a ton of sense, even with this wind right now that is blowing out heavy. It is snowing in Detroit. It says snow, 32 Fahrenheit, wind, 15 miles per hour out. 15 miles per hour out. Puzzler just took Biggio over 0.5 stolen bases at plus 650. Matt Shedden says too much of a premium on Bieber. William McKinnis on Bieber over 8.5 strikeouts seems like a gift. Last season we saw it took books a while to catch up to the overprop for sure. Matty Ice saying Cleveland batters were 5 for 25 off Boyd last year. And Carlos Peroj taking the taint. Cheesy balls. How can I lose? All right. So we are going to keep rolling now. And the 2:10 p.m. start between Orioles and Red Sox postponed. So we go to the 2:10 p.m. start. Twinkies, Brewers, Maeda, Woodruff. We have confirmed lineups. So we have Milwaukee at minus 109. And they've become the favorites. You can get them as low as minus 106 and as high as minus 114. The Twinkies started out as very, very slight favorites. This total opened up at 8 and has moved down to 7.5 right across the board. Confirmed lineups for the Twinkies. Arias in left field. Donaldson batting second. Polanco third. Sano, Kepler, Buxton, Garver, and then new shortstop Andrelton Simmons batting 8th. And Maeda in the 9-hole, the pitcher's spot, or which, in the past was the pitcher's spot. The Brew Crew with Brandon Woodruff, now the ace of the staff. Colton Wong, Keaston Hira, Yelich batting third after that very disappointing season last year. Garcia fourth. Travis Shaw back in a Brewers uniform. And to see Travis Shaw batting fifth tells you everything you need to know about this Brew Crew lineup and that it's weak. Lorenzo Cain batting sixth. I don't want to say broken, but there's a lot of miles on him, and he plays hard. Narvaez in catcher. Luis Urias batting 8th, and then Woodruff batting 9th. Matt Shedden says Woodruff isn't even close to Maeda. And Shedden liking the Twins here. JT saying, I like the Simmons pick and Cruz at DH. When there's a DH available, he'll be able to pinch hit. Christopher Comentini says, gotta love Maeda, first 5. Matty Ice liking the under here as well. Jerry Beatty, Max betting the Twins. Talking Sports with JT is on Twins money line. And Matty Ice says his Tigers offense will struggle all year again. Kevin Riley on the other side, Milwaukee. And here we have Vitalis. This is great stuff, Vitalis. Thank you so much. Vitalis saying Sharps on the Brewers and under 8. Line drop, though. Money represents all this by the line moves. Sharps on the Brewers and under 8. All right, that is our Twinkies Brew Crew situation. Then we hit 2:20 p.m. Eastern. The Pirates, Cubs in action here. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with from a market move. We have the wind blowing heavy in at Wrigley Field, and it's 34 degrees. It's cold. 50 mile per hour in. This over-under is very low with Chad Kuhl and Kyle Hendricks on the mound. Kuhl, and look at that. The total opens up at 7. It's 34 Fahrenheit, 50 mile per hour in, and it's moved to 6.5. Viper MB saying Kuhl is a bum. And by the way, Christopher Comentini giving great stats here as well. Current Brewers only batting .220 versus Maeda. For this baseball session today, as much stats as you guys can provide right now, because my time with all the games, I focus mostly on NHL and NBA with my preparations. And David Sharp leaning Twins. All right, Carlos Pro saying these Pirates are going to be trash. There's Raven in the desert. Raven, people have asked about you so often, and here he is back in action. Oh, that's wonderful news. That is absolutely wonderful news. And R2D2 letting everybody know that look there on K-Vanta right there. All right. So Vital saying Sharps on the Pirates, trying to hit the plus 190. Sharps are not on a total for this game. And there's Giuseppe in the house. Great to see you, Giuseppe. Thank you for joining us here. Pirates confirmed lineup. We have 2 more confirmed lineups. And here we have Adam Frazier batting second. We got Hayes at third, Reynolds in left field, Moran at first base batting cleanup, Kevin Newman at shortstop, Polanco in right field, Stallings at catcher, Alfred at center field. Wow, that is not a strong lineup. Kyle Hendricks on the mound for the Cubbies. You have Happ, Contreras, Rizzo, Bryant, Jock Peterson. The newly acquired Jock Peterson batting 5th and in left field. Javier Baez 6th. Hayward batting 7th. Bodie at second base batting 8th. And Hendricks turning the lineup over. Here we go. Matty Ice, pit batters 288 versus Hendricks. 3 homers, 2 doubles, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Von Polo liking the Reds today. Matt Shedden saying Pirates get smacked. David Sharp says Pirates can lose 100 games and still catch the wins over. Gonzalo saying, anyone know any of Noli's unders plays? We haven't seen him at this point yet. It is 8:30 out west. Jerry Beatty saying Woodruff has passed it. Bleds W said Pirates look good all spring training, hitting real well. Matt Chen said there's a reason they are plus 190. Patrick Toby in the house said, took the Cubs wins over. My thought was simple. If the team is slumping during the season, it gets blown up. All right. And Matthew Milser here saying, Mad Bum awful on opening day. Padres minus 3.5. Minus 3.5. Amsterdam, what else says he posted on Twitter? Well, if he did that, why don't we see what he is on? Our man Noli knows. Here we go. Opening day for Noli knows. He's on the Indians, Tigers under 7.5. He's on taint. He's on Rangers, Royals, first 5, under 5. And full game under 9. Twins, Royals under 8. Twins, Royals under 8. And that's 7.5 across the board now. And juiced at 7.5. But this was 8 hours ago. So, and Dodgers Rockies first 5 under 6. And then MLB futures, he's on Royals over 74.5 wins, Marlins over 71.5 wins, Brewers over 83.5 wins, Diamondbacks under 75.5 wins, and NL Central winner Brewers plus 300. Did I say Twins Royals? I did say Twins Royals. Sorry. Rangers Royals. Excuse me. Rangers Royals first 5 under 5. He does have Twins Royals under 8, but obviously he meant Twins Brewers, because he has the Royals playing the Twins and the Rangers, and we know that's not possible. All right, that is from our guy Noli Knows. There's the Sweaty Butcher in the house, and Jacksonville so saying they're from 8 hours ago. And Patrick Toby has Indians Tigers first inning 0 runs, and the same with Rays Marlins. All right, okay, let's move on. We have Braves Phillies next up. Max Fried against Aaron Nola. Oh, it's going to be a beauty. So this total opens up at 7.5. It's now at 7. The Braves opened up as a slight favorite. And Phillies. The Phillies, you can get anywhere between a minus 107 and minus 125. Minus 107 and minus 125. JT, that's very kind of you to say. At this point, there's nothing. This is just about us making money, and I want the money in your pockets to grow. So thank you for asking about it. But I've never monetized anything, and we'll see how things go. Okay, all right, let's go. So. Let's talk about this spot with these Braves. Braves, a lot of people liking to win the World Series. Acuna, Albies, that 1-2 at the top of the order that's so dominating. And then you have Freeman, MVP, perennial MVP candidate as well. Third, fresh off his first MVP. Ozuna batting 4th. Darno batting 5th. He resurrected his career under Anthopoulos, who traded for him many, many years ago. Swanson batting 6th. Still can't believe that Diamondbacks trade after he was the first overall pick. Austin Riley batting 7th. And then we have Christian, I think it's Pache, right? The 22-year-old stud. And he could be a monster. So he's starting at center field right now. And there's Sonny Vega in the house. Brian Warner has Acuna for MVP. There's C-Mac in the house. C-Mac, I'm going to reach out and get a hold of you today. Sorry, man. It's just overwhelmed. And then I had this function last night, and I didn't get back home until so late. And then I had to stay up all night working on this. Rich Kemp, ready to get to work. All right, let's break this down a little more. David Sharp says, I don't understand the line move. I took Braves plus 109. Braves are third best OPS versus right-handed pitching last year. Not understanding the line move. Make America great again in the house, as these totals will be much higher in a couple weeks. Yeah, it's freezing today. Nice to see Make America great again in the house. We have JoJo Rich on a Braves Phillies first 5 over 3.5. And we have Brian Warner on Atlanta money line. T Nice says, so much offense in the game. How can you take the under? And it's warmer in Philly than it is in other spots. It's 49 Fahrenheit. The wind 15 miles left to right. Jeremy Green in the house. Thank you for joining us, Jeremy. Love that you guys are all here rocking. And we are starting out with our first card of MLB baseball. And that's what the chat has asked for, is to open with baseball. So that's what we're going to do from now on. We will open with baseball. Ralph Nunziata in the house. Ralphie, great to see you. Bleds W says, I like the over here. Both bullpens suspect. And they get the opportunity to not play in freezing cold weather. This total goes from 7.5 down to 7. Brian Warner saying, I'll be at a lot of these Braves games this year in Atlanta, going to Atlanta for the summer. I love it. And Alex Ramirez here, Spidey, play of the day in the house. Mitch Klein. I love that, man. Don't be pushed around on those hockey games. I love the ice as much as you do. Time is just perception, brother. I love that, Mitch. But it is your guys' show. So Miles Johnson says no baseball bets yet. Then Miles Johnson, yes, I took the first 5 under 4 in the Jays game, and I am going to move if that 7.5 is still available on the taint play of the day. And other than that, that's all. And I don't, Miles, I really don't want to make too many moves to start off the year. This is a marathon. And a lot of people use that term, it's a marathon, not a sprint or whatever. But for the MLB season, it truly, truly is. And when you get behind the 8 ball, it can become very daunting. And it's just something I don't want to be involved with. Now, back to this Braves-Phillies spot, you have to think that when this total gets down to 7, that the over, because it's not freezing here, that the over will be in play. First game of the season. There's Williams fun videos in the house. So, of everything we've talked about so far, I think this under 7 is interesting. So I'm going to add this in the ATL over 7, ATL Philly. Because these bullpens could get touched. Alonzo Garcia says, Jimmy, take a shot. You know what? At the first of every month, I head over to the liquor store. And I load up for the month. So moving forward, we'll be able to do that. But right now, I just hammered a little yakety yak, and that was all I have left, so I can't. Brian Warner says way over. This makes sense to me. Raven in the Desert says give me Mariners. David Sharp says I don't see the starters giving up more than 3 2-1 type after 5. One of the things that we can do early in the season is attack bullpens. But I hear you, David Sharp. And if it was 2-1 after 5, I wouldn't be too upset. They're not going to want these starters to go long. So let me just see exactly where this stands here. Look at that 6.5 at Wrigley. That 6.5 at Wrigley in that first 5 is probably, I wonder if we get 3.5 there. Getting a 3.5 at Wrigley for the first 5. With the wind going in like that, I wonder if that is the spot. Matty Ice says unders early will be where I'm looking. Andrew McNicholas saying Philly bullpen last year was an auto fade. All right, I have some interest in this first 5 under in that Cubbies game. Frazier, Hayes, Reynolds, Moran, Newman, Polanco, Stallings, Alford, then the Happ, Contreras, Rizzo, Bryant, Peterson, Baez, Hayward, Bodie. Oh, no, bad news there. So I'm going to also add this first 5 under 3.5 here. It's juiced to the over, so you're not going to have to pay much vig. So I'm going to pop that in here with Pitt, CHC, or no vig possibly. First 5 under 3.5. And David Sharp saying Matty Ice had a good stat on Hendricks being lit up by the Pirates. I hear that. But it's also freezing cold with the wind in. And Brian Warner shouting out Roy Williams, who retired today. So, David Sharp, yeah, what was that stat he dropped again? We did talk about it. See if I can pull it up from Matty Ice here. We had Matty. If you could drop that stat in one more time. Here. Oh, no. Yeah, that's the Cubbies batters. And then. Okay, I can't find it. We've got to move on. We have a huge card to attack. David Chameleon in the house. And Ralph Nunziata says Giants put a beat down on the Mariners tonight. Okay. So let's move on and keep rolling because we've got NHL and NBA, and then I've got Ski's show afterwards. So next up we have, and that's the last confirmed lineup. We have one, let me actually refresh this. Yeah, that's the last confirmed line. Oh no, we got a Rockies confirmed lineup. Okay, so next up, Rangers Royals, Gibson versus Keller. 52 Fahrenheit in Kansas City, so it's not freezing there, and the wind just 4 miles per hour. Let's see how Spenny is opening up his season. Atlanta Braves plus 100, Atlanta run line -1, three-way St. Louis. Atlanta run line -1 on the three-way, okay, at plus 150. And St. Louis Cardinals plus 100. All right. So in this KC spot, I've really got to start speeding up here. Oh, I'm on first five still. Let me move over to full game. Here we go. KC opening up as -149 favorites. And they've taken a little bit of money. We have -150 to -161. This total opened up at 9 and has dropped down to 8.5. Gibson's the number 5 starter, acting like a number 1 from David Sharp. Sorry, says this is a bad spot for Texas. Matty Ice says Royals all day, but I got the -135 a few days ago. Might be a parlay piece now. And Andrew McInnes in the house. Great to see you, man. Great capper right there. Matty Ice saying this Royals bullpen is so good. So good. Let's see the expected lineups here. Kind of Falefa, Dahl, Gallo, Nate Lowe, Nick Solak, Guzman, Brock Holt, and Trevino, and then Tavares at center field. That is an ugly lineup for Woodward. I don't know what he's going to do with that. For the Royals, Merrifield, Benintendi. And the talk about Benintendi in the offseason was that he just put on too much muscle, lost a quick twitch, changed his stroke for home runs, and lost a ton of value. Santana batting 3rd, Perez 4th, Soler 5th, Dozier, Isbell, Taylor 8th, and Nicky Lopez batting 9th. Yellow Jesus here to bless our picks. Here we go. Matty Ice saying live bet Royals when game is tied, or they're up 1 when teams go to the bullpen. David Sharp liking Royals first 5. Get in, get out. The worst ace in the league. I expect they will, Miles. We got Fat Win in the house coming to us live from Australia. So if you want it, now Gibson's been a problem with me. He seems to always turn it on when I fade him. But right now, if you wanted to back Keller and the Royals first 5 -0.5, it's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em. And R2D2 says Finland first, or R2D2 Finland says Royals first 5 sounds good. Johnny K on totals. Okay, I've got to speed this up because we have so much NHL and NBA to get to. I'm just going to put the spots that interest me here, and then we can make cuts. So Royals first 5 -0.5. Okay. We move on to Cardinals Reds. This one's going to be a beauty. Flaherty versus Castillo. We have, let's move over to full game here. Sorry, money lines, totals. We have the Reds and Castillo opening up at -115. You can get them between -111 and -120. This total opened up at 7.5 and is now at 7. We have a confirmed lineup for the Cardinals: Edman, Goldschmidt, Arenado, DeYoung, O'Neill, Molina, Carlson in center field, Williams in right field, and then with Travis or with Tyler O'Neill in left. Then we're going to have an interesting outfield there for the Cardinals to keep our eye on this year. Matty Ice says first 5 underlook here. Also lean Reds. For those Reds, the expected opening lineup: Winker, Castellanos, Votto, Suarez, Moustakas, Senzel, India, batting second. He'll be a guy we got to keep a close eye on this year. And then Barnhart at catcher. Matty Ice saying Cardinals hitters were 1 for 21 against Castillo this season. All right, we have a bunch of games still we got to get through here. 4:10 p.m. Let's do the 4:10 p.m. games. Actually, we should just finish baseball. You guys are right. Okay, we'll finish baseball. Diamondbacks, Padres, Bumgarner, Darvish. And we saw what Darvish was capable of. And Vital saying sharps on the Reds. Wow. Went from plus 140 to minus 115. R2D2 says smelling like Reds. David Sharp saying Castillo and sorry, let's just move this here. Have this ready. Castillo and Flaherty were in the top 10 pitchers for the second time through the lineup. Hence, over 3 is the first 5. Bloods W says Cardinals lineup way better with Arenado in it. No doubt about that. Since he should be the first game every year, says our man Canascat. Okay, let's keep rolling here. We've started with MLB, and I did all my work in NHL and NBA, so we're going to move on to that. And I'm going to try to take it slow, even though there's a lot of great looks coming from the chat here. Now we have Diamondbacks, Padres. Diamondbacks, Padres. Let's see what we're dealing with from a market move perspective. Arizona opening up as the Padres opening up at minus 215. That's moved to between minus 220 and minus 240. This total opened up at 8 and is now at 8.5. It is 76 Fahrenheit, wind 8 miles per hour left to right. The Diamondbacks lineup, and David Trump says Padres love lefty pitching. This could be a minus 1.5 on the Padres here. And Fat Win says, what is Flaherty's strikeout prop over under? I can pull that up for you right now. And also, let me pop the minus 1 calculator here in the chat because it's so useful. In baseball, it's meant for baseball. So here, if anybody wants to use this minus 1 calculator, it's hugely. There's Tooch in the house. Paul Tucci. Man, I miss you, buddy. Great to see you. Thank you for dropping by. And Joe First liking a 20-1 at Gulfstream today. Joe, go get paid, man. Go get paid. All right, we have a prop question here for, I believe it was for, was it Flaherty's strikeout prop? Let's get that right now. And I'm sure this is being touched already and changed. But right now, Flaherty and Castillo are both at 7.5. They both have identical juice here. Over 7.5 is at even money, and the under 7.5 is at minus 140. Minus 140. All right, so that is Diamondbacks. Paul, we haven't talked about the lineup. Rojas, this is for Diamondbacks. Rojas, Marte, Escobar, Walker, Peralta, Ahmed, Pavin Smith, Carson Kelly. Be interested to see what Peralta can give this team this year. From the Padres, you have Tatis at the top of the order. Machado, Pham, Hosmer, Myers, Cronenworth, Campusano, Profar, and then Darvish turning this over. Focus on your bets. Our man Corey Simmons in the house. Haven't seen him in a while. Great to see Corey's Royals moneyline, Anaheim moneyline locks of the day. There's St. Louis Elite in the house. Great to see you. And again, you guys, taint play of the day. Taint play of the day. Vital says sharps on the Diamondbacks at plus 210 and the under 8. Now public money is coming in opposite ways on sides and totals. And Ergo Kostic, Polish women volleyball pick, just went for plus money. Keep an eye on Big Dosic, Polish women volleyball. Julian Cesaro coming to us live from LA. Twins, A's, Atlanta, Philadelphia, first 5 over 3.5. Interesting. That over 3.5 hits, then our 7 is going to be in business. Dodgers minus 1.5 and first 5 under 6. Okay. So money coming in on the Diamondbacks, money coming in on the over. Frank Gomez in the house. Tomorrow's baseball card will be easier. Oh, by the way, Good Friday, I'll be in action with you guys. Holiday, come on. Take holidays. Huh. All right. Yeah, I can't take Mad Bum early. Okay, let's move on. We have Dodgers, Rockies, Kershaw, Herman, Marquez. We have a confirmed lineup for the Rockies. It's 68 Fahrenheit in Colorado. Wind is 4 miles per hour out, so the weather is nice there. The over-under is sitting at 11. The expected Dodgers lineup: Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, Bellinger, Will Smith, Max Muncy, A.J. Pollock, Gavin Lux. Same old crew that just won the World Series. For the Rockies, Tapia, Fuentes, Story, Blackman, C.J. Cron batting 5th. He was off to a season last year before he got hurt. Elias Diaz, Chris Owings, and then Hampson in center field. They're going to be in tough. J-ball game, definitely. The reason why there haven't been any more is just because of the pandemic. We were going to do a ton of them. We were going to go all over North America doing them. But, But thank you, J-ball game. I'd love that. We want to do it. And then that Woodbine video is not the real video. We didn't know what we were doing. We're not really savvy with technology, and we didn't know that you had to press save when you were shooting live to keep the clip. So there's Rashad Davids in the house. Great to see you, Rashad. So with all that being said here, this Dodgers spot, with them opening up at minus 225 and a little bit of money coming on Marquez and the Rockies. This total opening up at 11 and it's now dropped, 11.5 is now dropped to 11. Something I don't really want to be involved in at this point. Only have 3 plays for today. Garrity, Cole over 7.5. Garrett Cole over 7.5 strikeouts at minus 122. New York, Toronto over 4.5 first 5, minus 112. And Philly, Atlanta, the first 3, or tie first 3 innings. Interesting. And David Sharp saying, don't play totals, but this first 5 under 6 makes a lot of sense. Noli's on it. Marquez has a career 2.57 ERA versus the Dodgers. Yeah, it does make sense. And, the Rockies have tried to stack their lineup with righties other than Tapia and Blackman. But that does make sense. Let's see what the juice that accompanies this first 5 is here. God, the first 5, Dodgers. Here we go. Is it open at 6.5? See, when did it move to 6? It lasted 6.5 when it opened yesterday for 28 minutes at Pinnacle. 28 minutes. And it got back to 6.5 this morning. You know what? This total went back up to 6.5 here 45 minutes ago. So the under 6 right now is accompanied by no juice. All right, I'll pop that in the possibility list here. First 5 under 6. Too many already. All right. Okay, we got to speed this up. Damn. Rays, Marlins next up. Glass now against Sandy Alcantara. Rays open up at minus 140. There's highs minus 165, but you can get them still at that minus 140 price if you shop around. This total, that's first 5. Shit, sorry. Here we go. The Rays open up at minus 155. You can get in between minus 146 and minus 150. This total opened up at 8, is now down to 7.5. Glass now has a ton of talent. But it wouldn't shock me if he overthrows here early. Setsugo batting first. Lau batting second. Arozarena batting third. Meadows fourth. Margot fifth. Wendell sixth. Adames seventh. Zunino eighth. For the Marlins, you have Dickerson, Marte, Aguilar, Duvall, Anderson, Chisholm, Alfaro, and Rojas. I wonder what I'd get if I backed Alcantara first 5. Oh, the big market move towards them first 5. You can still get a decent price, though. You can still get a plus 130, a plus 135, even a plus 140. It wouldn't shock me here if Glasnow was just too amped up here. What's gas on? Under 11.5. Nice job. Rockies, Dodgers. I wish that was still available for me. I'd have to take an 11. All right. I think Marlins' first 5 is something I want to make a move on. I mean, it helps probably for last time that there's no fans in the audience, but okay, let's keep moving because we gotta move. Next up, so we have 3 games left. Next up, 10:05 p.m. Eastern. White Sox, Angels. It is 75 Fahrenheit, wind out in LA. You know how that can become a wind tunnel. Giolito Bundy. Bundy opening up at plus 110. He's now around plus 100 to plus 105. Let's get to totals here quickly. From a totals perspective, opens up at 8, and it really hasn't moved. Actually, an 8.5 has just come on the board. Interesting. 8.5 has come on the board. Julian Cicero says, everyone on Miami. Interesting. Bled says, do you trust Bundy? I don't know if I trust anybody to start the season right now. Let's see if that's the case. I'm surprised that everybody would be on the Marlins. Let's just see what let's see what the public is doing here. Let's go to MLB. And where is this spot? Show me it. God damn. Sorry, taking a second here. No DeGrom, Scherzer. That sucks. Where is Miami? Oh, here we go. So, no, I have here. Maybe you're talking about the cappers because I have 67% of the tickets on the Rays and 70% of the cash. So the most public spot on this card is the Yankees and the Cubs. Wow, the Cubs are hugely public. Yankees and Cubs I have. All right. Jason Albert says, under in Reds game, it's now snowing in Cincinnati. Spenny says, I like the White Sox, but I haven't played them yet. Anderson, Luis Robert, Jose Abreu, Moncada, Grandal, Garcia, Eaton, Zach Collins, and Madrigal for the White Sox. For the Angels, we're expecting Fletcher, Ohtani, Trout, Rendon, Walsh, Upton, Fowler, Iglesias, and Stassi. Pressure on the White Sox. I need to see what Bundy looks like. And Giolito. Thank you, Andrew. It's MLB is tricky now just because this is the 2 toughest weeks of the year. And they come at the end of March. But then within 2 weeks in April, we have NHL playoffs start and then NBA playoffs start after it, and it cuts down all the time. But now, because of everything being pushed back, now to the sauna and a cold beer and listening to the show, R2D2, you get it, man. But thank you, Andrew. Okay, so next up we have Astros, A's. Astros, A's here. Greinke, Bassett. Bassett, the opening day starter. This total opened up at 8.5 and has gone down to 8 at most of the books. We have 62 Fahrenheit wind, 6 miles per hour out in Oakland, but you know how it swirls out there. Not quite as bad as over in San Francisco, but the Astros with Greinke on the mound. Altuve, Brantley, Bregman, Tucker, Correa, Alvarez, Gurriel, Straw, and Maldonado. For the A's, Kanya, Lowry, Olsen, Chapman, Laureano, Moreland, Murphy, Piscotty, and Andrews. And we have these A's opening up as a very slight dog, are now on either side of the fence. You can find the A's as a favorite, and you can find them as a dog. David Truck says, I still want to slap Greinke for leaving the Dodgers, thinking he's number 1. He went where the money falls. You know, he wants the money. He wants the cash. Over team runs could be a good play with the White Sox. Okay, we're almost on to NHL here. And I've got a really juicy card now, so I don't need to add anything. Last game of the night is Gaussman. Can you believe Gaussman starting for the Giants? At Marco Gonzalez and the Mariners. the dome's going to be closed. Slater, Yastrzemski, Solano, Longoria, Flores, Belt, Posey batting 7th after abandoning his team last year. Crawford, Dubon. For the Mariners, Haniger, France, Seager, White, Murphy, Trammell, Moore, Fraley, Crawford. Wow. We have the Mariners sitting as a dog. Wow, even that surprises me. I mean, if you look at this lineup, I guess I should stay away from these shit teams, but San Francisco can't fill their lineup with right-handed bats because of Belt, who doesn't hit lefties, Crawford, who struggles against lefties, and Yastrzemski. I mean, I think this is a Mariners first 5. Do we trust Gausman to come out of the gate and throw fire? Justin Trumbauer says, Mariners are very talented. Could have a few breakouts this season, but there are a ton of unknowns. Jason Albert says, stay away game. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Sweaty Butcher, I love it. So it says, I have an MLB moneyline system that has a 65.2% win rate, close to 400 plays since 2016, active on 4 games today. Rays, and too bad we don't have the Mets game. Dodgers and Indians. Michael Orvalina says, Mariners first 5 is one of my top 3 bets. I get it. I just think Mariners first 5 at a plus line is worth it. Who knows what guys now? Now I'm going to put an asterisk on that one. Okay, so let's quickly go over everything here. The taint. So I'm already moved on the under 4 in the Jays Yankees game. Bled's W's on the other side. I believe it's Bled's W. There's a lot of cappers on the other side. It makes me a little nervous, but for additions, taint under 7.5 in Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta, Philly over 7. Pittsburgh, Chicago, first 5 under 3.5. It's freezing and the wind's blowing in. And even that, I might not get to the window with. Royals, first 5 -0.5. And even that against Texas, that should be a casher. I hate the first 5s -0.5, but Dodgers, first 5 under 6 and full game under 11. Marlins, first 5 and Mariners, first 5. And I certainly don't want to double up in the Dodgers-Rockies game. So what I'll do is I'll take out the full game and just leave that first 5 under 6. Dave Sharp says can't bet money on Marlon Gonzalez. You know, he's a Gonzaga guy, so I followed him closely. Okay, there you go. That's MLB. And moving forward, I'm going to handle my time differently because when I start capping NHL, hours and hours go by. So I'll handle my time differently so I can put more emphasis into MLB. And, soon it'll be just MLB. So, all right, guys, let's get to work. We move on to NHL right now. Let's move markets. Here we go. We start with Pittsburgh Penguins at Boston Bruins. Penguins 23-11-2, 7-8-1 on the road at Boston Bruins, 18-9-5, 9-4-2 at home. We're going to get into NBA right after this. And then I move right over to Ski Profits show on the Locker Room app. TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. Casey DeSmith is going to be in the lineup because Tristan Jarry now day-to-day with an upper body injury. DeSmith 8-3-2, 1.91 goals against average, 929 save percentage. He's been incredible. He has been so good. Daniel Vladar, who's looked good in a very tiny sample size, is the confirmed starter for the Bruins. The Pens power play 20.8%, penalty killing 78.2%, Bruins power play 23.2%, penalty killing 89.5%. We have the Bruins opening up at -132. You can now get them between -120 and -125. And then the total here for the game is at 5.5. So for me, and the reason why I'm off this game is that it would be Bruins or no bet. And I'm not going to back the Bruins with the way they're playing right now with their injuries. The Penguins continue to win hockey games with this depleted lineup. And they seem to do this every year, and I seem to lose money fading them when they get hurt. But they're decimated up front. Malkin, Bluger, so there's their second and third line centerman out. Brandon Tanev, Kasperi Kapanen. And they're coming off their 4th straight win, 2-1 at home over the Islanders, and I faded them in both games. I'm going to stop fading them. Mr. Gokster saying, talking about Vladar, who came from Providence, and that he's a gamer. So I'm certainly not going to move on the Penguins, and I just can't trust the Bruins right now. I can't trust the Bruins till they get a little bit of secondary scoring. We thought Andre Case would deliver that. The Bruins finally scored some goals in Tuesday's 5-4 shootout win at home over Jersey. It helped immensely having Brad Marchand back. It was a great call by Gokster. One of the best calls of the year. There was so much money and so much market movement towards the under, and Gokster showed no fear. Marchand returned after missing 2 games because he was in COVID protocol. He said it was a false positive. Team's leading scorer. He got a goal and an assist. Brandon Carlo played for the first time since suffering a concussion. That was that huge hit from Tom Wilson where he got suspended for 7 games. So he returned. That's big. Kuraly and DeBrusk are still both in COVID-19 protocol. And we expected DeBrusk and Case to flank Krejci and give them offense, and that hasn't been the case. So also defensemen, they're just so banged up on defense. Kevin Miller, and is no timetable for Kevin Miller. And then John Moore done for the season. So I'm off of the Bruins spot. 7 p.m. Eastern, New York Rangers -1.5. There's 420 Fuego in the house. And we're going to hit NBA right after this. Rangers -1.5 at Buffalo Sabres. 16-15 and 4-8-9-1 on the road. Sabres 7-23 and 5-3 11-3 at home. We're at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. I'm expecting Tokarski to be in net. I just think that there's absolutely no way that with Linus Ullmark, we know that Hutton's hurt, and Linus Ullmark coming back from injury, that he would play in back-to-back nights. There's just no way. Alex Ramirez, play of the day is on Vegas. I'm also on Vegas. I love it. I love that you're on it for the Spidey play of the day. So Rangers, Buffalo, this total opened up at 6. Juice to the under. It hasn't changed. The money line has the Rangers opening up at -210. They're now -280. The point spread is, I got the Rangers -1.5 at -105. You can't get that anymore. That's telling me that Tokarski's in net. So Shesterkin's a very good goalie. He'll be a Vezina nominee moving forward. Rangers power play 18.1%, penalty killing 74.7%, Sabres 22.7%, power play 79.1% penalty killing. And you talk about the Rangers, you hear people talk about Panarin for good reason, and Buchnevich. Buch's having a great year. But it's Adam Fox that's been spectacular. This is what David Quinn says of Fox. This guy's an elite player in this league. This guy's special. Not only the way he creates offense, but I think an underrated part of this game is how he defends and how he competes and how hockey tough he is. He's a huge, huge piece of the puzzle here. Ryan Strome extended his point streak to 10 games. Those are the 2 guys that have me scratching my head as to why this team's not in the playoffs. Rangers snapped a 2-game losing streak with 5-2 win over the Capitals on Tuesday night, down 2-0 early. 5 unanswered goals. Panarin has a goal and 2 assists. Kakko, Fox, Chittle, Bucci score. Shesty makes 30 saves. But Adam Fox, 3 years at Harvard, and he's a gamer. Shesty just seems to have the Capitals number. Strome extends his point streak to 10 games. His assist streak to 9 games. So if he gets 1 more assist, he ties Rod Gilbert's franchise record for consecutive games with an assist by a forward. Sabres ended their 18-game skid, the NHL's longest 17 years, resounding 6-1 win over the Flyers. I went to the well too many times. I got burnt. All the bounces went Buffalo's way. And Brian Elliott's a sieve. The slump was tied for the league's 14th longest. Buffalo won for just the 3rd time at home. Ullmark stopped 31 shots. Their first win under Donnie Granado. Dylan Cousins got hurt, upper body injury. Jacob Bryson returned after missing a game, their defenseman with an upper body injury. And they have Stephen Fogarty, 27-year-old Stephen Fogarty, which always harkens NHL fans back to the great Brian Fogarty, possibly the most talented defenseman after Bobby Orr that we would ever have seen if he didn't have all of the drug and alcohol issues. But they would say that half cut, so he'd show up half drunk, and he was the best player on the ice. And Stephen Fogarty is no relation as far as I looked. Stephen Fogarty's got a goal and an assist, 27-year-old journeyman. He's 1 point, 21 career games coming to this. Okay. Mr. Gokster said Sabres had production from guys who are young. Like to see them do it again. Tell me you didn't just say that. It says Flyers are a dumpster fire. They're begging to give up today. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Back-to-back for Sabres with Tokarski is not a bet. I agree.
That is a really easy spot. Spending penny bombs on the NHL for Pittsburgh money line. Washington, New York Islanders over 5.5, and Carolina money. Oh, over 5.5 at 100. Carolina money line in regulation. And the two Fogarty brothers, I believe, in league are AHL. Oh, A. Haley said I played against Fogarty in high school. Dude was a wagon. Oh, wow. And Dizil and Chris is on Sabres Rangers over. All right. And I can understand the Sabres Rangers over. I can absolutely understand. But Chesty, I would rather take a Rangers team total over, and then that will be just so juiced because of how big of a favorite they are. I'm comfortable with just Rangers minus 1.5. I really like that spot. Capitals, Islanders, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. Samsonov, Varlamov, who I'm expecting to be in between the teams in the pipes for each team. Varlamov 14-7-3, 2.19 goals against average, 9.22 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Capitals power play 23.9%, penalty killing 81.3%. Their Islanders power play 19.6%, penalty killing 82.6%. And I got to move fast here again, so I'm going to start talking quick and just blowing through this. Let's go to let's go to money line and totals. Here we go. From a money line standpoint, Washington opening up as a dog. I could have got them as a dog, and a pretty decent dog. They're now still dogs, but we're in VIG now. We're minus 101. Oh, plus 100. Actually, there's a couple pluses out there. There's still some pluses. And the total sitting at 5.5 was heavily juiced to the under, and now some money's coming on the over. And when I saw this line, I was like, man, so much money's going to come in on the Capitals. And I almost hit the button. I was like, no, take some time to study it, and I'm just going to stay off of it. Capitals had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 5-2 loss at the Rangers on Tuesday night. They're up 2-0. Rangers scored 5 unanswered. Just the third Capitals loss in 17 games. 2 of those losses have come at the hands of the Rangers. The Capitals dominated early, took the first 9 shots. It wasn't until 8.5 minutes in that the Rangers even got a shot. The Rangers just seemed to have the Capitals number. Of the 7 opponents in the East Division, New York's the only team that Capitals have a losing record against this season. Lars Ellers returned. The issue for me is the Islanders. They'd won 12 of 14 before they were swept in a 2-game series at Pittsburgh. Now they come back home. Look at their home record. 13-1-2. They've had difficulty replacing Anders Lee up front, and Kiefer Bellows, Komarov, Beauvillier trying to fill that spot. Barzal scored 3 points in 2 games against Pittsburgh. He had just 1.6 games, but they're so underrated, and they're so good at home. And Bob Tess, I'm about to ask my buddy that pitches for the how Bass is looking great. Sweet. R2D2 says Isles all day. 420 Fuego. I'm not comfortable with overs in Islanders games. And Johnny Case's Anders Lee was huge. He was spectacular. Big, tough. He was everything. He was so good. So I'm not going to move on this at all. I talked myself off of it. Next up, we have 7 p.m. Eastern. Jackets, Lightning. You have this. Lightning is these huge favorites. Too big. Tampa Bay Lightning sitting here. This total sitting at 5.5, juice to the under. A couple cents have come back to the over, but still juice to the under. And then you have Lightning just huge favorites, and they're not playing very well. But I don't want the Jackets after the Lightning just lost to them. We're at Amalie Arena. Lightning are 24-9-2, 13-3-0, and 13-3-0 at home. The Jackets 14-15-8, 7-9-2 on the road. Merzlikin 6-5-2, 2.72 goals against average, 918 save percentage, 1 shutout. Andrei Vasilevsky 21-5-1, 1.99 goals against average, 930 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Jackets power play 14.9%, penalty killing 76.2%. Lightning power play 27.4%, penalty killing 81.8%. Jackets snapped out a 4-game losing streak by defeating the defending Stanley Cup champions 3-1 on Tuesday. Jackets are in tough because this Lightning team is going to want revenge. Merzlikins was excellent, 37 saves. Lightning outshot the Jackets 38-21. The Jackets continue to get nothing from Laine and Domi. Laine played 13 minutes, Domi played 12. But they brought Alex Texier back for the taxi squad. He got 2 assists in 3 games. And it was just mismanagement, bad coaching. Lightning are on an extremely rare 3-game losing streak. McElhaney was between the pipes for the loss. The Lightning received a scare in the second period when Norris Trophy candidate and the number 1 guy right now, Victor Hedman, was tripped up by Lettinen, fell awkwardly into the boards, but he returned, finished with 10 shots on goal. What a guy. Tampa Bay did lose Jan Ruda to a lower body injury in the second period, and they're playing without second defensive pairing McDonough and Cernak. So it would be Jackets or no bet when you think about the people missing from the Lightning defense, but this is an angry Lightning squad who's lost 3 straight. But clearly, McDonough and Cernak are a big piece to this team. Here are two moves that I made, and one I love. RedWings first period, I got it plus 170, and the under 5.5 at minus 104. We got to get into NBA quickly here, so I'm just going to explain why I'm on it. First off, Bernier, is possible that he comes back from between the pipes, to be in between the pipes. But Thomas Greiss, who replaced Pickard, look, the clock struck 12 for Pickard. He shouldn't be in net. I expect Bobrovsky to be back in net for the Panthers. They're trying to get him hot. For whatever reason, Drieger's outplayed him, but. And, Brian Warner liking the Jackets here, and Johnny K liking the Jackets. Archer D just said, just especially my buddies Kekalainen brothers, Blue Jackets GM and Nashville agent said, asking who leaves first, Tortorella or Patrick Laine. Wow. So here, this is why. So the Panthers, look, a lot of the guys in the chat were on the Panthers their first game without Aaron Ekblad, and they stepped up. They stepped up in a big way. They're playing without Alexander Barkov. They're playing without Hornqvist. And they could be back on Saturday, both Hornqvist and Barkov. They came out fired up. They scored 17 seconds in with Huberdeau. They were up 3-0 after 12 minutes. But I want to see them do that again. They also just lost Anthony Duclair. So they've lost 3 of their top 6 forwards. This is a team that didn't have depth to begin with. So, and listen to what Blashill said. So Red Wings have lost 6 straight road games. He said, it's as bad as we played defensively in a while. We weren't at our best. We had a bunch of guys that played their B and C games. We need everybody on their A game every night. It took us too long to get into this game tonight. That second one, sorry, I kept going as if it was one person. The second one was from Dylan Larkin. So I think they come out hard. I think they come out fast. If you wanted the Red Wings on the full game money line, I get it. I just don't want to put too much money into this game. So I'm only going to take the plus 170 first period that I bet, and the under 5.5 that I moved on at minus 105. Mystico says Verhage and Huberdeau have been unreal. Other than that, it's been, there's nothing. Bobby Ryan says Chadley Kubadon. No Bobby Ryan for Detroit. Good point. Thank you for doing that. But with the way that Giovanni Smith is being given opportunity, the Ontario minor hockey fans remember Giovanni Smith, the Guelph Storm. Is 2016 second-round pick, a big boy, 6'2", 215 pounds. And look, the NHL needs more black players. This is a guy who could really succeed. He's really good. And in all honesty, with a young team, who do I want on the second line, Bobby Ryan or Giovanni Smith? Giovanni Smith. I need 2 seconds. I want Giovanni Smith out there. Big, fast. Get some excitement. Get some hope in there. He's got 4 points in 9 games. All right, so that's it for me there. Montreal Canadiens, Ottawa Senators. Senators play the Habs so tough. We got to get the NBA badly here. Michael Irvine says Pickard is trash in net. Habs, Senators, Canadian Tire Center, Ottawa, Ontario. I'm not on this game. The Senators play the Habs so tough. And I know the Habs come back off their week-long COVID issue or whatever. And they win 4-0 over Edmonton. They look very good. They're still without Tyler Toffoli. Kotkaniemi was removed from the COVID list, and he scored. Armia remains sidelined. Thomas Tatar scored. Frolik made his season debut, 33-year-old journeyman. And what I do with Ottawa when they play, and it's a mistake, what I should do is bet Ottawa each time. But when they play the Leafs or the Habs, I usually just stay off, and that's what I'm doing here. And Dylan Turner saying he needs to work on his skating, Giovanni Smith. Saying he's fast but not good on his edges. Gustafsson is in net for the Senators. That's what I expected. He's been awesome, but such a small sample size. 0.86 goals against, 973 save percentage. Dylan Turner's on the Habs -1. Johnny K's on the Sens in the under. I'm just staying away from this game. Then we have Hurricanes Blackhawks. I cashed on the under last time these teams met. This is a stay off Nedeljkovic and Lankinen. We need to get an NBA, so I'm just going to. Carolina had their 3-game winning streak snapped, and they got Trocheck back. And I just don't fade the Blackhawks. There's just no value in it. Lankinen's playing great. This team is playing really well, and I just don't fade them. Then we have Stars Predators at 8 p.m. The Stars are nothing like that Stanley Cup finalist that we remember. They've lost 3 straight, 5 of 6, 7 of 9. They score on the power play, though. especially against the Predators. Do you know that they are 10 for their last 18, 55.6% on the power play against this Predators team? Pavelski's been great. Rupi battling injuries, 23 points, 23 games. Jason Robertson having a great season, great rookie year. He'll get nominated for the Calder and lose to Kirill over in Minnesota. Kiprizov. Am I saying that right? Sorry, I barely slept last night. Predators forward Philip Forsberg has missed his third consecutive game with an upper body injury. He's listed day-to-day. Duchesne and Richardson out. Ellis Borwecki out. And then I'm on the Golden Knights -1. The Wild are playing bad hockey. Both teams are on the second half of back-to-back. Both teams lost. Who do you trust here? Would it shock you? Would it really shock you if the Wild, on this road trip got into Vegas and after a loss and maybe went down to the casino, played some craps? Wouldn't shock me. The Golden Knights here coming off that loss to the Kings. They outshot the Kings 42-30. And I got a -1 at plus 100. I got plus 155, minus 155 money line and plus 155 on the puck line. And now you can even get better than that. So you'll get a slight plus line. Kaprizov, thank you. Kaprizov, thank you. All right, there we go. That is NHL. Brian Warren says Wild terrible last night. They've been terrible for a while. They're just playing bad hockey. Swept by the lowly Sharks. Kirill Kaprizov, Zuccarello scored for Minnesota. The only guys they got going. Parise and Foligno remain out of lineup. Obviously, they meant a lot to this team. Okay, there we go. Let's get into NBA right now, and we got to move quickly. We're going to start with, and there's only 7 games, so we can get through this. Take a deep breath. Let's attack on the NBA. Sixers, Cavaliers. Sixers 32-15, 13-11 on the road at Cleveland. Cavaliers 17-30, 11-12 at home. We're at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. Sixers pass 5, 3 wins, 2 losses, 23rd in pace at 97.08. Cavs 1-4, 18th in pace at 97.80. And I truly, from a capping perspective, do not know what these Sixers are going to do on the last game of their road trip, knowing that Embiid's going to be back in the lineup when they come home. I don't know. And if the Cleveland's front court wasn't such a mess, I would happily move on Cleveland at plus 9.5. That's now plus 10. And I won't. They've handled the total is up to, the spread's moved to 10, and the total is sitting at open at 213 down to 210.5 or 211. Let me just pull up exactly what I'm on right now here. And I moved on just the Hornets and Warriors money line, but this is one of the spots that I almost moved. Oh, wow. Gas station, I didn't know that. Shit. Fat Wally fighting COVID. Thank you for letting me know, Gas. Oh, man, we love Fat Wally so much. I hate hearing that. If everybody can just send as much positive energy to our man Wally as possible. God. That is terrible, terrible news. Terrible news. So if everybody can send as much love to Fat Wally, and I'll reach out to him. Thank you for letting me know, guys. Johnny K saying his boy just got it too. So now we have more than Fat Wally because Robert Cherry has it as well. And Mark Hunkerford just recovered from it. It's awful. All right, Cleveland's front course. So this Sixers spot, they won the first 3 games of this road trip before losing Clippers 122-112 on Saturday, 104-95 at Denver on Tuesday. Sixers came out sluggish. Nuggets built a 44-22 first quarter lead. Tyrese Maxey led the Sixers with 13 points all in the fourth quarter just because their bench made it a game. The starters were awful. Tobias Harris was a game worst, minus 29 in 26 minutes. Cleveland's front court is a mess. Coming off a 114-75 loss at Utah Monday night. Colin Sexton, 20 points. Garland had 18. Cleveland's 74 points was just off the NBA season low this year with Clippers put up 73 on December 27th. Larry Nance sat out with a non-COVID illness. He's unavailable. Jared Allen, concussion. Matthew Dellavedova, appendectomy. Kevin Love, calf, were all unavailable. Of those 3, there's a chance that Kevin Love will be back. Dylan Windler, doubtful. So it's Isaiah Hartenstein. It's his chance to show what he's up to. Jay Mills, thank you, my man. Benefiting from everyone's greatness. We work together, and it's just a pleasure with everybody here. So I agree that the under's got to be the look, but it's still at 212.5, isn't it? Let's just see what the market movement's been here. If this total, yeah, so it opened at 212. Oh, it's 210.5. Damn. It is 210.5. Why did I think it was 212? Yeah, it's 212.5. Wow. That should be bet immediately under 212.5. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Makes a ton of sense. I like it. And the Sweaty Butcher's Prime Cut already there. Butcher's Prime Cut already there. All right. I should have added that already this morning. Let's hammer that right after the show here. Okay, let's keep rolling, and we got to be very quick. And next up on the docket is Wizards Pistons. Wizards 17-29, 7-14 on the road. Detroit Pistons 13-34, 8-14 at home. Little Caesars Arena, Detroit, Michigan. Wiz last five, first in pace, 104.70 possessions a game, 2 wins, 3 losses. Pistons last five, 13th in the association, 1 win, 4 losses. Wizards opened up as 3-point favorites. 3-point favorites, that's where they stand. This total opened up at 224.5. It's now down to 222. Vasectomy, Brian Warner says the only reason a male should miss a game. I allow that. Respect. Yes, 420 Fuego. The Taints, the under 7.5 in Tigers Indians. Washington had their 2-game winning streak snapped, 114-104 loss. They played without Beal for a second straight game due to a bruised right hip. He's questionable to go tonight. Rui Hachimura tied a career high with 30. Russell Westbrook, 17th triple-double. Robin Lopez went for 16-11. Raul Neto was out with a bruised left rib. He's questionable to go tonight. Daniel Gafford out with a sprained right ankle that he injured in Monday's game. He'll be reevaluated in 10 days. Ish Smith hasn't played since February 12th, right quadriceps injury. And Davis Bertans missed 6 games with a strained right calf. They're getting closer, but still unavailable. Pistons have lost 5 of 6, coming off 124-101 loss at home to Portland on Wednesday night. Jeremy Grant goes for 30. They lost 5 of 6. Plumlee 18. Sadiq Bey, Josh Jackson, Saban Lee combined for 2 points. 1 of 17 shooting. You can't trust these guys. Sadiq Bey entered the game needing 4 threes to break Brandon Knight's franchise rookie record. He fouled out and went 0 for 7. What are you supposed to do? Hamidou Diallo playing his 3rd game since being acquired from Oklahoma City. Looked good, 19.7 big shooting. Sekou Doumbouya, unavailable due to illness. It's unclear if he'll return. Ellington and now Jahlil Okafor is questionable now, so he's going to start working his way in the lineup. Magruder and Smith are out. They're 2 bad basketball teams, and I'm staying off of it. Then we have Hornets, Nets. I got the Hornets at plus 140. Can't get them there now. You can still get them at decent price, plus 130 to plus 138. Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. Hornets 24-22, 11-13 on the road. They've won 4 out of 5 without LaMelo in the lineup. And that's just because they're a good basketball team and they had a ton of depth at the guard position. It's not because they're better without LaMelo. Hornets pace last 5, second slowest in the league, 94.33 possessions a game. They're 4-1. Nets pace last 5, 21st in the league, 97.30 possessions a game. Terry Rozier, 27 points. Hayward, 26, season high, 11 boards. Devontae Graham, 17. Zeller, 16-13. And, when Zeller's rolling, this team is good. When Bismack Biyombo has to play 30-plus minutes, they're not good. Scary Terry was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week between March 22nd and 28th. He's running. He's playing well. Malik Monk missed his 2nd straight game with a sore right foot. He's listed as probable for tonight. But you can miss Malik Monk and LaMelo and still roll because of Scary Terry and Devontae Graham. Brooklyn coming off their 5th win in 6 games, 19-22, 121-08 at home to the Rockets. It was a wild game. Irving goes for 31-12. Harden sat the 4th quarter with right hamstring tightness. He went for 17-8-6. I highly doubt he's in the lineup today. That was the reason why I went on the plus spot here for the Hornets. I just thought there was too much value. Chadley's on the Wizards in that spot. And what did I miss from? Take Washington now. Polo that says I see Beal playing in the line closing at 5 or 6. Freshest look. Here we go from our man Dutch Boy Fresh is the over 222 in Hawks Spurs. See, we speak basketball. Dutch Boy Fresh comes on the scene. 420 Fuego says Hornets are 5-0 against spread in the last 5 games overall. Dutch getting love. And Chadley says Westbrook going off tonight. So, Brooklyn is I don't trust how good they looked against the Rockets in that fourth quarter. Joe Harris goes for 28. I love Joe Harris, but look, Blake Griffin scored 11 points, but I heard he's day-to-day with his swollen pussy. And LaMarcus Aldridge is close to debuting, but he may not do that here. Landry Shamet out, and I doubt Harden plays. I don't like Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge as players. They lollygag around the perimeter, and that perimeter is full. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do. But with saying all that, I think the Hornets can take them out. I think the Hornets will be up for this game while Brooklyn won't be. So then I'm on the Warriors money line. I got +1. Wow, I could get a better line now. I got +120. I could get +130 now. And I thought that it would get bet. I thought I waited for the right time. I waited for Oladipo to be announced in, and I thought that's where the market was coming to. And now it looks like I could have waited longer. 23-24 are the Warriors. They snapped their 4-game losing streak, 116-102, home win over the Bulls. All they needed was Steph Curry to come back from injury. 32 points, 6 threes. Draymond Green, 11 points, 9 assists, 5 boards. I just feel like this is a spot where Steph continues to roll. And the Warriors and Hornets, both on the money line, is the kind of thing where, if I was in Vegas, I'd be comfortable just, on the night, just taking those 2 games alone and betting much more than my regular unit size on each of them, because you just need one to come through to get into the land of profit. Matt Shedden says you can't bet against Miami when the spread is 3 or less. We had a plan in the chat, and it was to back, and I didn't start the first half of the plan, was to back Miami last night and fade them tonight, and I'm going to follow through with it. Brian Warner on a Hornets, Braves, Warriors, parlay all money lines. Hornets, Braves, Warriors. Pull that. Danny Green, 3+3s. And R2D2, Finland liking Hawks with the points. Okay, so let's get over to the spot. So, look, Heat have won 2 straight on the road. They're coming home to play their second half of a back-to-back, their third game in 4 nights. These have been tough games, too. The Knicks game was tough. This game against the Pacers was tough. Bam finished with 16. 8 boards, 7 assists. Tyler Hero at 17. Butler at 18. Robinson at 20 points, 8 boards, 4 assists. I know Oladipo's going to be back in the lineup. They're going to be figuring him out. Kendrick Nunn still dealing with an ankle injury. Next up, we have Magic Pelicans, and I stopped myself. I came close to taking the Pelicans, to taking the Magic. I came close, and I would have got a better line than the 8.5 that's available now. Smoothie King Center, New Orleans, Louisiana. Magic 2-3 over their last 5, 25th in pace, 96.70 possessions a game. Pelicans 4-1 their last 5, pace 24th in the NBA, 96.80 possessions a game. Magic snapped their 2-game losing streak, 103-96 win at the Clippers on Tuesday night. Chuma Okeke, 18 points. Otto Porter, 13. Wendell Carter, 11. Carter and Porter breathed new life into this team. And then you have Terrence Ross coming back from injury. He scored 15 points in 26 minutes. The 66 points Orlando scored in the second half, that's tied for the second most that's had in the third or fourth quarters all year. Gary Harris and Cole Anthony could return next week, and then we'll get to see what we got. Be interesting. Pelicans have won 4 or 5. They're coming off defeating the Celtics 115-109. You were absolutely right, Ray. Booker was money. They're coming off defeating the Celtics 115-109. Ingram 25-9. Josh Hart 15-15. Zion 28. 8, 4, and 3, and he's got a sprained thumb and is questionable to play. I thought that he wasn't going to be in the lineup, and then I said, you know what, even if he's not in the lineup, why don't I don't want to back a team after this huge victory. Gerald Jones says Orlando's been under machine since the trade, and there was an idea that Zion could be out for a long period of time. That's why I thought that he wasn't going to play tonight. There's too much for them to lose. Then we have Hawks, Spurs, Atlanta opening up as a dog. They're now a slight favorite over the Spurs. The Spurs are a very tricky team to figure out when they're going to play well and when they're not going to. The Hawks have followed up 8-game winning streak by losing 4 or 5, coming off 117-110 loss at Phoenix. Bogdan goes for 22, Young 19-13, Capella 14-16. DeAndre Hunter didn't play because of right knee soreness. He's listed as questionable. John Collins didn't play in the second half because of a sore ankle. He's out. He's listed as out, so no John Collins. Lou Williams will not. Oh, he could debut tonight. Could. But I doubt it. I think Lou Williams debuts at home. So this is just a stay off for me. I can't trust the Spurs coming off that 120-106 at home win at home to the Kings. DeRozan goes for 26. White 18, Gay 16, Poeltl 12 and 14. Gorgie Dang injured in his debut. Sucks. Lonnie Walker's missed 5 straight. And then we close shop on a big game here with Nuggets Clippers. And at this point, I can understand why the Clippers are taking money, but I don't want it. Sweaty Butcher says historically Magic's been smacking the Pels, but I understand the Magic is depleted and the Pels aren't what they were in the past. Yeah. Dutch Boy Fresh says no Collins means more Brog and what the hell's his name? God, this is sorry, so many games were better. Gallinari. He says Gallo. I was like, yeah, of course. Gallinari, more points, less D. Yeah. And what's that total done? It's dropped too. Yeah. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me. And Phoenix is, yeah, I think that's a very interesting look, Dutch. All right, I think that look makes sense. Okay, and then we have Nuggets, Clippers. And I've got to go. I'm jumping on Ski Profits show here on the Locker Room app. Nuggets 29-18, 15-9 on the road. Clippers 32-17, 17-7 at home. Both 4-1 over their last 5. Both paces on the bottom third of the league over their last 5. Nuggets won their third straight 104-95 at home over the Sixers on Tuesday night. 44-22 lead after the first quarter. Just took their foot off the gas. Monte Morris is expected to come back. He's going to play very low minutes, but they're going to start working him in probably tonight. Joy Spencer, yeah. Oh, keep us posted. Thank you. Yeah, I think of you all the time when I hear people talking about him. Yeah, Diesel says I need some tips. Lou Will, how to convince my one girlfriend that we should add another girlfriend. I tell you, man. Anthony Ayeni says, who do you guys have winning the Hawks Spurs game? I'm very uncomfortable with the spot here. But I can understand the market move towards the Hawks, even without John Collins. So Nuggets, Clippers. Clippers had their 6-game winning streak snapped. Surprise 103-96 loss Tuesday. That's what's kept me off of backing the Nuggets. Nuggets feel so good about themselves. The Clippers will be up for this game. Leonard, 28. Kennard, 17. He's playing much better. Zubac, 10th double-double of the season. And then, they fell apart second half of a back-to-back. Batum, 10 boards. Paul George missed his second straight game because of right foot soreness. He's been out for 13 games this year. It's unclear when he'll be back. Supposedly, Rondo and Beverly are working out together on court, so they're going to both be back soon. And Dutch Boy Fresh on the Hawks. David Trump says, Clippers off a straight-out loss is a mandatory play. And 420 Fuego saying over may be the look. All right, I've got to go. So, in review, before the show started, I moved on the Hornets at plus 140 and the Warriors at plus 120 in NBA. In NHL, I moved on the RedWings first period at plus 170. Detroit, Florida under 5.5 minus 105. Rangers minus 1.5 at minus 105. Knights minus 1 at plus 100. And I didn't add anything in NHL. So I didn't add anything. And I was already on the Jays, Yankees first 5 under 4. My additions here in NBA, I'm going to roll with Dutch on that over in Atlanta, San Antonio. And I'm going to roll with the under in that Cleveland game. I really want that 212.5, so I'll see if that's still available. And then I'm adding these plays. I'm adding the taint in baseball. I got about it right now. Atlanta, Philadelphia over 7. Pittsburgh, Chicago first 5 under 3.5. Royals first 5 minus 0.5. Dodgers first 5 under 6. Marlins first 5 and Mariners first 5. I'm going to be adding those spots right now. And no Paul George today from Matt Shedden. No Paul George. And Kevin Riley like in Denver tonight. Mr. Gokser, my pleasure. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you guys for rolling with me over here where it all started on the Jimmy the Bag YouTube page. And thank you. It means the world to me that you guys still run with me. It gives me purpose, gives me fight. And I will work my ass off for you guys. So respect. All you guys, Chadley, Carlos Peroj, Ray Charles, Mr. Gokster, Kevin Riley, Ray Charles, Diesel, Matt Shedden, Johnny K, Polo this, Polo that, David Sharp, Raven in the Desert. Oh, Raven in the Desert's on the under. Shit. Dab Fenn, 420 Fuego, Dutch Boy Fresh, R2D2 Finland. We had so many Cappies I hadn't hung out with in a while, and I just really happy, really happy to see you guys. Sweaty Butcher, Gas Station Sushi, Spenny Penny Bombs. Thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart. Matty Ice, Taint Play of the Day in Business, Joseph Emons. I got to figure out how to pronounce that moving forward, Joseph. I don't want to mess up your name. Swerve and Dylan Turner. All you guys. Let's have a giant day. I need it, baby. I need it. Leche, Halos Bookmakers. Let's fucking go. Let's go. See you tomorrow, 11 a.m.